At the heart of Beijing, just beyond the red walls of the Forbidden City, there's a garden. Not just any garden, one of the oldest, most beautiful places ever made by human hands. Beihai Park. Its name means North Sea, and standing at its edge, looking across the still water toward the white tower rising from the island, you understand at once why it was called the sea. You feel the vastness, the depth, the silence of something ancient and alive. For nearly 1,000 years, this garden has stood at the center of Chinese civilization. It was here, in the year 1267, that the great Kublai Khan looked upon this small island rising from the water and declared it the heart of his new empire. He built his capital city, Dadu, the city that would become Beijing, radiating outward from this one island. The entire world began here, at this lake beneath these ancient pines. The lake is called Te Pool, the supreme liquid, the heavenly sea. For ancient Chinese emperors, its meaning was sacred. The garden was designed to recreate a legend as old as China itself. The story of 3 islands floating in the eastern sea, where immortal sages lived and the herb of eternal life grew. By building his palace around this lake, the emperor placed himself at the center of heaven. He looked at this water, and he saw eternity. Above everything, the White Dagoba, 36 meters of white stone rising from the crown of the island, blazing against the blue sky like a flame that never goes out. It is the first thing you see when you enter the park. It is the last thing you remember when you leave. A Buddhist stupa built in the Tibetan style, its vase-shaped body, its lotus flower base, the bronze canopy at its summit where wind chimes ring in every breeze. The Dagoba was built in 1651 for a journey. The 5th Dalai Lama had traveled from Tibet to meet the young Emperor Shunji, a historic meeting between the Tibetan world and the new Ming Dynasty. To honor this moment, to declare his reverence for the Buddhist faith, the emperor ordered the construction of a great temple in this tower. When the Dalai Lama arrived at Beihai Lake and looked across the water at the white tower rising above the trees, it was both a political statement and a gift, the emperor saying, "We are one." On calm mornings, the Dagoba reflects perfectly in the water below, a white tower floating upside down in the lake, framed by lotus flowers and the long fingers of willows. There are 2 Dagodas in Beihai, the one above the water and the one beneath it. And the one beneath the water is, in some ways, the more beautiful. It trembles with every small wind. It is never the same twice. It is the image of something permanent caught in something that is always changing. By midsummer, the northern lake transforms entirely. Lotus flowers cover the water from shore to shore, pink and white blossoms rising above broad green leaves, their fragrance carried on the warm air. The lotus has been sacred in China for 3,000 years, a symbol of purity rising from muddy water, of beauty that does not ask permission to exist. In Beihai, surrounded by 1,000 years of imperial stone, the lotus flowers are a reminder that nature is older than any empire. Across the lake, dragon boats and small rowboats drift between the lotus fields, families rowing slowly, letting the oars push them through the green silence. There is a song that every Chinese person knows, written in 1955, set here at Beihai Lake, about children rowing on a summer afternoon with the white dagoba reflected in the water, the green willows swaying. Generations of children have grown up with this song. They have never been to Beihai, and yet they know it. They have rode these waters in their dreams. On the north shore, 5 pavilions stand on platforms over the water, connected by covered walkways, the 5 Dragon Pavilions. Built in 1602, their curved rooftops lift at the corners, gold finials catching the last light of day. Their reflections reach across the water toward the island. In the evening, when the light turns amber and the willows go dark, these 5 pavilions become something out of a dream, floating between sky and water, between the present and a dynasty that ended 400 years ago. In 1756, Emperor Qianlong ordered the construction of the 9-dragon screen. It is nearly 6 meters tall, 25 meters long, a wall of glazed ceramic tiles blazing with 9 enormous dragons in yellow, green, white, purple, and blue, coiling through clouds and crashing waves. There are only 3 ancient 9-dragon screens remaining in all of China, and only this one, at Beihai, has dragons on both sides. 635 dragons in total, each one different, each one watching. In a round city, a small circular fortress island just outside the south gate, there is a vessel unlike any other in China. A jade urn, carved in 1265 from a single block of dark green jade, 3,500 kilograms. Large enough to hold wine for an entire imperial court. Kublai Khan had it made. He drank from it. Then the dynasties fell. The urn was lost, stored in a temple, used as a container for pickled vegetables by monks who did not know what they held. Emperor Qianlong found it 5 centuries later and restored it here. History has a way of surviving its own forgetting. For 800 years, no ordinary person could enter this garden. It was the private world of emperors, sealed behind its red walls, known only by rumor and legend. Then in 1925, after the fall of the last dynasty, the gates were opened. Beihai Park became public, and something extraordinary happened. The most sacred garden in China became the most beloved park in Beijing. The place where emperors had walked alone was now full of families, children, old men playing chess, couples rowing boats. Every summer morning, the park fills with sound. Elders practice Tai Chi in the pavilions. Children feed the fish from the stone bridges. And sometimes on the water, you will hear someone humming. The song from 1955, the one about rowing on Beihai Lake with the White Dagoba reflected in the water. The lake where a great Khan once feasted, where an emperor received a holy man from Tibet, where lotus flowers have opened every summer for 1,000 years, is also the lake where ordinary people come to find something they cannot quite name. Peace, perhaps. Belonging. The feeling that they are part of something that will outlast them. Beihai Park has held the dreams of 1,000 years. The dreams of emperors who wanted to touch eternity. The dreams of a holy man who crossed the mountains to reach a white tower built in his honor. The dreams of children who grew up hearing a song about rowing on a summer lake. And the dreams of ordinary people who come here on a Tuesday morning, sit by the water, and watch the White Dagoba reflect in the stillness, and feel, for a moment, that the world is beautiful and that they belong to it.